afternoon, everybody. It is terrific to have you along for our live coverage of this eagerly awaited contest. It should provide some terrific entertainment on what is turning into a rather imperfect afternoon. The weathermen rarely get it wrong, and they have warned us that there is rain on its way. It shouldn't be bad enough in any sense meaningfully to impact on the game of football, but it is a factor to be taken into consideration. Plenty of other factors, of course, principally each side's concern for the strengths of the other. It is quite a scene here, this being one of Asia's top footballing venues, the Saitama Stadium. The national anthem of Argentina rings out. Thrown down the gauntlet with that anthem, now to match it. Plenty looking forward to seeing this, a capacity crowd here.
Oh, get ready for some high-grade football, Peter. Two strong teams, as you say, full of wonderful individual talent. And we have every right to anticipate some really entertaining football. As to whether we'll see a high-scoring contest, that's a little harder to predict. I'm not complaining, though, because there are good players everywhere you look around this surface, and that's a fine start in itself.
The whistle. Well, here's your hero, goal scorer, match winner, saviour, all in one. Lionel Messi is indeed one of a kind, and history shows that he is all of those things and so much more.
Yeah, and we can testify to that, having covered quite a few of those games where he showed the very best qualities.
And time after time, it is a tale of the extraordinary, and we've come to expect the extraordinary from him.
We have.
And it nearly went all the way.
He's the one player you want on the ball running in defences, and that's precisely why.
On a charge. Regardless of the outcome, it is good to see someone running at the defence like that. Di Maria. McAllister. Hoists it forward. Messi. Oh, Red, he sorted that out.
Quite sure he needed to hold up play quite as much as he did there. A couple of his teammates were very annoyed.
McAllister. Clearance is very necessary. They put it back as soon as they gave it away. Acuna. Martinez. Fernandez. Martinez goes looking. Acuna. Fernandez. Forward it goes. Now it's Martinez.
Martinez really was well marshalled there because he was denied the opportunity to turn.
Brushed off the ball there. Here's Terima. Yeah, that does look a foul. Referee's given a free kick. Drives it forward. Forward it goes. 4 minutes to be better there. It's a wasted chance. Nacho. Is it not? James. Indonesia. Recently. Occasionally.
See the sense of anxiety has now shifted to the stands.
Fired in, and he's cut it out. He's a clever pass. Romero gets it away. Martinez, chance to break.
That right side seems to have become a very good outlet. It really is providing a very good outlet there, and his contribution
McAllister. Martinez. Acuna. Martinez gets it forward. And it's Di Maria. McAllister. Garnacho. That's a good ball to find him. It's anyone's ball. Danger averted for now. Defence got better of him this time, but I'm sure he'll go again. Played into space out wide. Really good feet. Garnacho. Now it's Martinez. Good defending there, they've slammed the door in the faces of the opposition. Tries to get it forward quickly. How about a shot? Di Maria. Hoists it forward. Tries to get it clear. Di Maria gets it back. Lovely bit of skill there. A chance to play it in. Defending of the desperate variety. Gone and the finish! And it's played forward. He could have been in, just needed a better final ball.
Look, the game is full of ifs and buts. If only the pass could have completed its journey.
Garnacho. Messi. Shakes to shoot. Oh, that's a terrific save from the keeper.
Well, you can't ask for much more than that. A difficult moment he simply had to deal with.
James. Good challenge, he just stood firm. Gets it back. Out towards the flank.
Indonesia have been making some good inroads down the right. No doubt this is an area they've identified as a potential weakness in their opposition, and they're willing to exploit it. Well, this poses the defence a few tricky questions, and the answers have to be hard and fast.
Martinez positions himself well and cuts it out. Gets wrestled off the ball. James. Plays it out to the wing. Nicely controlled. Hoists it high. Massive leap! Well, to get his head on that, but couldn't score.
Well, plenty of moving targets to pick out in the box. Obviously increases your chances of the ball being met like that by someone.
Romero goes looking. Acuna drives it forward. And that has been clubbed away. Oh, that's a fine challenge. On the back foot. James. Well, they've seen lots of the ball. Time to go for it a bit of creativity and adventure.
That's just an example of overcommitting, and they're fortunate for the quality of the intervention. It was vital.
Show. Messi. Who can spark this game into life? Acuna has a hit! Goal! Argentina! And it's Argentina in front!
Argentina produced a lovely sequence of passes there. It's a terrific brand of football to watch, and importantly, it is a strong end product.
Argentina draw first blood here.
Yeah, this is also a chance to see what happens to their level of concentration from here.
Indonesia keep the ball, but can't do anything meaningful with it. Out to the left it goes. Rain starting to fall here. It has been looking that way for a little while. Indonesia put it back again. Forward it goes. Who's getting there? Maria. That looks a foul. Yeah, referee's given it. Always going to be the keepers. James doing full tilt down the left. Looking to go deep. Towering header! He scores!
That's something that will make the manager proud, because they dug in deep then and they've got the leveller.
Great delivery and a finish to match.
I just thought he wanted that more than anyone else on the pitch, and it was fully deserved. He gave it everything he had.
And that has added a whole new complexion to the game.
Well, there's resilience for you, Peter. As a side, they never lost focus despite the setback, and this is thoroughly merited. For me, now they can go one better, possibly.
Played out to the right. Aimed into a great lead! Quick delivery, no joy.
Indonesia can defend those situations better by stopping the crosser at source.
James was pulsing down that left-hand side. That's a good block, but at the expense of a corner. And it's been taken short. It's a good-looking cross. And he's there to cut it out. Forward. Nacho. Fernandez. Time added on will be 2 minutes. Done very well to intervene. James. McAllister. The whistle goes for half-time. So a very watchable game so far. Action at both ends and the team's level. So there was the first half.
Oh, what a half of football. It's 1-1, but it could easily be 3-3 or more. Breakneck speed brilliance.
So both teams heading off for the break. An interesting game has brewed up here. Hoping perhaps for a little bit more from both parties in the second half. But the score at half-time is 1-1. We're promptly into the second 45 minutes. Garnacho. McAllister. Fernandez. Acuna. Acuna plays it forward. Up to meet it! Oh, just needed a better contact.
Now that was a slick move, and there were several options in the box to pick out.
Over to the left. Has he found his man? Take by the keeper, he's read that well. Goes looking. Tries to stroke it through. Has a pop! And the comeback is complete!
Indonesia are so well practiced in the art of keeping the ball through wonderful passing and movement, and a real appetite to ensure it's reflected in their goal count.
Indonesia take the lead.
Yeah, for me this team seems to find it easier to attack than defend, but now they're going to need to dig in at the back a bit.
And here's Di Maria, and it's Messi. Messi kicks it out wide. McAllister battles to win it back. He is not one readily to admit defeat. Don't be surprised if he tries that again. That's not the ball he wanted. Chance to break. Plays it out to the wing. Gets up to head it!
be looking at another classic here. I'm not going to guess what's going to happen next, but that is great togetherness and resolve.
Perfect placement, the one place the keeper couldn't reach.
Well, you know, sometimes it pays off not to think too much about things, just put your foot through it, and that was a good example. Great contact, and the keeper had very little chance.
This is quite a battle.
Oh, I think the coach will really be annoyed with that. The players were still thinking about their goal and just got caught napping.
Across the field it goes.
It just allowed him to put the ball exactly where he wanted it, and the rest became a formality.
Indonesia are able now to make their substitution. It's been on the cards for a few moments now. So we have a breakthrough. Now how will things develop from here? And it's played forward. He acknowledges that he should have come up with something better there.
Peter, his body shape was a giveaway before he made the pass, and its obviousness was appreciated.
Questions were asked, he's given the answers. Di Maria. is as far as they're going to go. Plenty of appeals, but the referee is not interested. Fernandez. Molina. Tries to locate someone up front. And it's hoisted clear. Good challenge, he just stood firm. Now to the left it goes. He's left his man. He holds his control. Looking for a decent ball in. Yeah, he's fouled him there. And he just whacks it away. It's a fine challenge and it goes his way.
Martinez really was well marshalled there because he was denied the opportunity to turn.
Steered forward. James.
This is good ball rotation, and it should be enough from here, but they want to double their advantage.
There's a long ball. Chance to squeeze it through. No, not quite. McAllister. Romero. Acuna. Now it's Martinez. Helps available out wide. And it's been taken straight back. And here's Di Maria.
Argentina are actually displaying tremendous fighting spirit. There's a real belief that they can still have a say.
Walsh. Keeper sends it forward. Molina. Now it's Messi. Di Maria. Di Maria has been caught there, it's a foul.
Deserved in the circumstances. In these games, it's so tempting to maybe get a little sorry for yourselves, but there's none of that.
Dispatched expertly, nicely done. Quite a thriller this one's become.
Argentina surely know by now that they've put so much work into producing the equaliser that they'll battle on for a winner. You know, it's all one-way traffic for them now. They simply have to capitalise on it.
Cut out in the nick of time.
Indonesia showing a good level of intensity at this stage. They're calling on all their resources now.
Fernandez. Acuna drives it forward. He's got options in the box if he gets his head up.
Argentina bearing full marks for their attitude and application in trying to win this. It means an awful lot, obviously. His energy levels began to sag, and he was never going to last until the final whistle.
Romero is there, and he can get that clear. They are right into last chance territory. This could spell danger. Big chance! It's wide, but only just.
Look, I'm sure he'll deny it, Peter, but the keeper didn't have that covered. is it now, but there may be one more opportunity, Peter, for a late steal here. Yeah, he's run himself into the ground, hasn't he? And it's good to see that the crowd appreciate his efforts, because he has put in a real honest shift.
And they've been caught out here.
Well, both sides might have to settle for a draw here, although there's still a chance for one last fling.
Sprayed out wide. Lovely feet. Loses his balance and loses the ball. Oh, that's a foul in a dangerous area. No surprise, that's a booking. They're protesting furiously, but there's little or no sympathy from the ref.
Well, they're struggling to cope with a pacey dribble because they've not been at it as a team. I think the collective pressure needs to be better all round.
Immediate danger. Final seconds, this has to be it. Up towards the flank. Heave to the back post. Late in the day, this could well be it. Time and space aplenty, he was never going to miss.
Yeah, I really can't say enough as to how good the final ball was. It took the defence out of the equation for that split moment, and the damage was all done.
Indonesia take what looks to be a decisive lead.
Well, look, Peter, I feel I've got to stress that there's still time for another, so we can't be too presumptuous yet. They seem to have lost their sense of direction. It should be higher up the pitch.
Time added on, 4 minutes. Indonesia need to hold on for a few more moments. Great strength, too strong for his opponent. More than happy to take the muscular approach. And the counter is on. Romero positions himself well and cuts it out. Reinders. Hoists it forward. On his way off, and that is the least he deserves.
I think he's put in a good shift, and their fans appreciate that. I think he can feel pretty happy with the contribution he's made.
Fernandez, McAllister, DePaul, Martinez, in with the challenge. Whistle's gone, that's foul. That's going to be a booking. price of recovery. They have defied the odds. So a dramatic game decided in its very last moments.
Well, this looked like it had a draw written all over it, Peter, so credit where it's due. They found a way to win it, and they could take...